I'm gonna go get some water while this is connecting. Say hi to people. It should say, oh, no, it's a test. Oh, that should be us?
Yep, I just got notifications.
Yay. It should say, oh, that was a test. Oh, that should be us? Say hi to people. I think we're live.
Hi!
Yay.
Hi, everybody.
Say hi to people. I think we're live. All right.
Hi! Great.
Hi, everybody. I'm just getting water.
Hi! Great.
Ugh.
Great. It's the Bellamy show for now.
Is Bellamy smiling? Aww.
It's the Bellamy show! Can you see yourself? It's the Bellamy show for now.
Baby silly.
Oh, I should turn this down so there's
Yeah.
no echo.
Here's. You got it down. Let me turn this. Okay. Hello. Yeah. You want to say hi in the chat and let us know you're here or who's here? That would be great. So we try a different platform. Okay. I think we're good. Okay. So can you see a chat somewhere here?
Right there.
Okay. You want to say hi for us?
Hi, Sally!
Oops.
Don't do that. I don't know what you did. You can't. Okay.
There we go.
Maybe.
Okay. Okay, Sophie's going to monitor the chat. I think we're good to go. Hello, love. Hello, everyone. Yay. Welcome. I think this is working. Did you get a notification?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yay. Good. All good. Hooray. Okay. Well, thank you. Welcome. I hope everyone is doing well. As you come on board, if you'll say hi in the chat, that would be lovely so that we know who's here. Bellamy is here with Sophia, so we can't miss that adorable face. Okay. We are jumping right into earrings because we have a lot of them to do. For this earring trio, can you mute that at all? No?
I can. So it's better to...
Sorry, we're just following it also on the laptop to make sure everything's working okay. Awesome. Okay. Thank you all so much for joining us and everyone who got a kit and whether you did or not to come hang out with us. We appreciate it. It'll be really fun. It's a typical Washington weather today, so it's a good day to be indoors and be making beautiful jewelry. Anyway, that's right. So we have 6 earrings to cover, and I sent out an email last night, whether you read it or not, that kind of gave a little overview for today. We're going to make just one of each of the 6 designs, and I'm going to make them in order of their popularity. So, for instance, the first earring, the pearl drop earring, let me get
Hi, Debbie.
one. See if I can get it on the board. That little drop, right? I think everyone has this design of this kit, I think, in their trio. So we're going to do that one first, and then I'm doing the mini Lotus because I think more than half of you have that one, and then the Indian wedding one, and so on. That way, as we get to maybe some of the ones that you don't have, you could then work on the second earring in your pair from previous ones that we've already covered. Does that make sense? Or just watch or hang out and do whatever you want. But I thought it would kind of be a good way to keep everyone busy as we go along.
Hi, Kay.
And I think that it'll probably run a little more than an hour 10, hour 15. Well, when I kind of timed it out. And like I mentioned in the email, we want you to stick around to the end so that we can show you our new design for our next live stream in June, which is fantastic, that Sophie and I made together, and it was fabulous, beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna, like I said, get right to it, and you received the handouts with the kits that you have. Otherwise, you were emailed the 3 that you didn't have, so you have access to all of them. I have them here handy so that I try to make the earring in the order that we said. We had baby Bellamy and his little play and pack there. Hi, baby love. Pack and play. That thing that holds the baby. Okay.
Hey.
Okay, so our first earring, like I said, is going to be that little pearl drop earring. And let me get a different board because black is kind of tricky to see it, but you all know what it looks like. So like I said, I think everyone has this one either in the silver and the gray or gold and the ivory, and with little caps and everything. Okay, so let's, in your kit, you're gonna start with your head pin. You have a ball head pin. Right, and it might need a little bit of straightening, but hopefully it's fairly straight for you. And then your pearl goes on next. Now, the thing with the flower caps, sometimes, I don't know why, just the way they're manufactured, but sometimes they're a little bigger than the bead you're working with. So if you do need to, if the cap, the little petals, I guess, in the flower are larger than the pearl, you could take your chain nose pliers and just gently bend those in, just a little, just a smidge, if you need to. So if you put it on, when you put it on the pearl, or whatever bead you're using, it should, fit just out. We don't want it, sticking out in this design. So if you need to, bend it in a little bit, you can do that pretty easily. So once we have the flower cap, then there is a tiny crystal that goes right on top. Can you see it? I'm sure you have it there, but there she is. How's that looking on there?
It's behind, so I don't know.
Oh, well, you can tell me if it's not.
Oh, that's good.
This is being filmed on my phone, so it's very tiny for me. And then Sophie's watching on my laptop so that she can let me know if I need to adjust things.
Hi, Marcia. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, girls.
Welcome
Yay.
in.
We're just still on our first one. Bellamy welcomes you also.
Hello.
Now, we're going to do a basic loop on this head pin. Because this needs to not just go into the ear wire, but over that satin ring, right? That little ring, it's a little thicker. You want it to be a good size basic loop. So I would definitely leave a 1/2 inch of wire. So if you have a ruler, you can do that or just eye it. But you can always cut it down smaller, of course. So you can always kind of err on the side of making it bigger. I'm measuring it to be about a 1/2 inch. Normally when I do a basic loop, it's not a 1/2 inch. That's a little big. But for this one, I think for ease of it going over the loop, you'll have an easier time if you leave that 1/2 inch. So I've got a 1/2 inch of wire above that crystal. You can push it back with your thumb. You can use your chain nose pliers to get it a nice 90 degree or close. With this length, with that 1/2 inch of wire, you definitely want to use kind of the middle of the round nose pliers, right, to match up the length of the wire with the size loop you're going to make. So I've got on the very tip of that wire, the middle of my round nose pliers. I've got my thumbnail in that bend, and I'm rolling away from me.
Hi, Victoria.
Until it closes. Okay.
Debbie.
Oh, I'm glad Victoria could join us. Yay.
Debbie Pierce says, "Well, finally got in. Had to reset my Google password." Yay.
Yeah, technology.
And yes, Marcia, I have all the help. I have such a little helper today.
So, right, so we've got our basic loop on there, right? We close it completely.
Yes.
Okay, then you should have a jump ring, jump ring in that kit. So I would make sure it's closed flush right now. Oops. Okay. And even though we just made that loop, I'm going to open it to the side. What you want? You want that cap? My laptop?
You want it?
So I'm opening that loop to the side. I'm going to put on my satin ring. Come on. Okay. So I'm going to put that big ring on there through the loop. Whoopsie. Things on the floor.
I dropped them so you pick them up.
But before you close, so I'm putting the satin ring on. Before you close the loop on the pearl, I want you to put that little 4mm jump ring on there.
Debbie says he's getting so big, and Victoria says yes, he is.
He is.
He is.
Almost a year.
We already had to lower his crib mattress because he can stand too far over it, and it freaks me out. But he can stand now.
Bye-bye jump ring.
And crawl like a little monster. Yes.
Okay, so I've lost my first jump ring to the floor.
Heavens.
That's okay. I knew that would maybe happen.
Can you see
And there's the second one. Goodbye.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Is that funny?
I think he's laughing at himself. Yeah, can you see yourself?
Okay, I finally got the rings on. You guys are like, we're done by now, Viki. Thanks. Okay. Okay, satin ring on and the jump ring. And then I'm closing that loop back in place. Okay. Then I'm opening the loop on my ear wire to the side and stringing the back of the ear wire through that jump ring that's dangling. There's no front or back to the earring, so that's good. And then when we bring her down, when you string that on the back and bring it all the way to the front, it should be on there. You can close that ear wire back up and you are good to go. Right, so you need that little jump ring so it's facing the right way, so it's facing forward. If you didn't want it to face forward, you could eliminate the jump ring and have it, face sideways too. That works. But there you be. Easy peasy. Okay. Where are we time-wise? I'm trying to watch the clock.
Started 12
This
minutes
13:04. Okay. That's not so bad. I have this, again, kind of timed out. See, 1:15. Okay, yay.
13. The red number on the screen.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, guys. So, the next one, I'm going to jump right into our second one, which is the mini Lotus earring. And more than half the people have this one. More than half of you have this one. But if you don't, you can work on your other pearl or just hang out with us and chat. But this is one of the newer designs that I did for this trio. There's the silver one, and it came in gold as well. And I used the same kind of blue opal-y crystal at the bottom. I just think it's a gorgeous neutral color. Even though it's blue, it's a very neutral blue. I think it's especially beautiful with the gold. It's really, really lovely. So I'm going to make the other gold one right now. So, okie doke. You have your Lotus and another one of those satin rings. This kit uses those big textured oval rings, right? There's one. There's a gunmetal one. I'm doing the gold kit. So the gold ones have the big gunmetal ring. The silver, if you have it in silver, it has the bright silver ring. Whee! Sorry. That's okay. I knew I was gonna have a baby. I know what babies sound like. I remember. Okay, so you're opening this textured ring. If it's not open already, to the side, just like a jump ring. Be careful with these, though. I've mentioned before, we're going to be using them a few times today. This is not. I love them in place of a jump ring. I think it's a beautiful texture that matches all these findings beautifully. But it's not made to like open, close multiple times. You're going to get about 3 or 4 times out of it before it breaks. So I tend to have to move them around a lot. But hopefully you only have to open yours once. Okay. So you're going to open your textured ring to the side like a jump ring. String on your mini Lotus, which is kind of a new component for us. It's so pretty. And then your satin ring as well. Oh, goodness. Hello. Hi, Bellamy. What's up? We didn't want you to forget there was a baby here. Okay. So with this earring, there is a front and a back. The Lotus sits on top of the ring for the front of your earring. So whichever direction you've got it going, then you can use 2 chain nose or your chain nose and your round nose, but you're going to close that loop up. Right? I know mine's a gunmetal loop. You're going to close that up. Now, this is a good time to put on the ear wire, so it's just easier to hang on to, I think. So I'm just opening this to the side. Oh, I should have put on the, sorry, we should have put on the jump ring before we close the loop. That's what happens. That's what I'm talking about, opening and closing these multiple times. So I'm going to open this back up so I can put the jump ring on, because I forgot to put the jump ring on. So make sure that jump ring is closed flush, obviously, before you close it up, which I didn't do. And I'm going to close those back up. Then I've opened my ear wire again to the side, and I've used these, my favorite kind of satin ear wire for the majority of these, for like 4 of them, and then 2 of them use some other styles. This is just, it's a favorite ear wire of mine. So then you're going to string on, again, just like we did for the first one, the back of the earring over or through the jump ring. You just want to make sure, since there's a front and a back. Hi, lover. Hi, cutie. Is it a little cookie or something? You want to snap. So if you have it on backwards like mine, so you can either turn it around or you can put the Lotus through the ring, like I'm doing, to get it to be the front. Now, there we go. So everything's together like that. Ear wire, jump ring, that textured ring holds the front too. Now, we're going to do the drop on the bottom. The little crystal on the bottom is pretty, but it's also purposeful. It holds your top and bottom, the 2 pieces together, so it always stays where it's supposed to. So you have your ball head pin, and you're going to put on your crystal, and you have a little flat spacer, and then I should have a round bead, but I don't. Darn. I don't have a little gold. Dang. Okay. I thought I grabbed everything. Okay. Well, pretend I have my little gold bead on there. So you've got your spacer, crystal, and a little bead at the top. Or here, I'm going to just use the silver one, even though. Okay. So you've got. I really love the way the little flat spacer and the little ball, I used it a couple times. Just think it's a nice finish. So there's our little design. And again, I think this is a gorgeous color, blue. It's really neutral. Very pretty. So we're going to cut this wire. And again, this is another one where we want to leave about a 1/2 inch because we're going over that satin ring. So we need to be good size. Save us cookie. No.
It's not a cookie.
Oh, what is it?
It's a little teething.
Biscuit thing.
Teething
Wafer, gotcha. Okay, so I'm leaving 1/2 inch. bending that wire back 90 degrees. Again, I'm going to line up in the middle of the round nose pliers to get the right size for the length of wire you left. My thumbnail is going in that bend, and I'm going to roll with my dominant hand around in a circle. And ideally we make that loop in one roll, but not always. I mean, then we can go back in there and kind of finesse it a little bit, but we definitely want to make sure it's closed so that it doesn't open. So we closed it all the way. We've got our little loop. Then we're going to open the loop to the side and string it through the front. String it through the Lotus first, and then the satin ring, so that the opening for your loop is in the back. Doesn't really matter that much, but that way you can't see it.
Missy says hello, hello.
Hi, Missy. What's up?
Hi.
And then close that
You finish that piece, bub?
back up.
You want another piece? You gotta stay on your butt. Come on. Gotta stay on your butt.
And you were done. And there you go. And then I was going to take a look at it. You know, did it close the ear wire straight? Is the loop on my crystal, straight, all that kind of thing. But there she be. Yeah. I really like that in the golden. Very pretty. You could do a mixed metal with it too, like we did the big Lotus. Very pretty. And definitely girls and Mark, type in any questions or issues, or let me know if I'm going too fast. I think all of you kind of know what you're doing, but definitely let me know if you're having a problem.
Missy says so pretty.
As I mentioned in the email I sent you, a little bag of extras, right? Extra jump rings and the small beads, small crystals, anything you could drop like I already have. And I didn't want you searching for them, so. Okay, so we are going to keep right on time and moving along with my favorite earring. This little Indian wedding earring is one also more than half of you have. And it's probably one of my favorite ones. I really, really loved her. And just the shape of it and the style just really reminded me of India and all that style of jewelry. And I've been to several Indian weddings, and it's really fantastic to watch. There's a whole line or procession that happens, and everybody has jewelry they brought for the bride, and they put it on the bride. If you've ever seen a video of it somewhere, it's very, very cool. But then she's covered in jewels, of course, by the end of that ceremony. So
Mark says thank you for the extras.
yeah, especially with this one. You even have an extra chain, and I'll tell you why. The earrings that use chain, I cut them all for you ahead of time to save us time during this live stream, but also so that you didn't have to spend time measuring. And I'm pretty sure I did it on all of them, but especially on this one, because obviously the length of the chain is going to determine the size of this earring, because the little triangle shape of it is made up from the length of the chain. So I really wanted to make sure I cut two pieces that were perfectly even. That being said, if we mess up the crimp or something along the way, or it doesn't turn out even, I put in a little extra piece of ball chain, and that extra one might not be, I just threw it in there. So if that one, you might need to measure they're 3 inches long. Okay, so there's a lot of pieces to this one. And I also put in extra of the 1mm cording crimps. If you haven't worked with those a lot, they can definitely be tricky. I wish. Oh, I do have a gold one. Good.
You finished? No, just
Okay. So you're gonna start with your chain, once you have your chain handy. Oh, actually, I'm just kidding. Keep your chain to the side. I want us to put the jump ring and the moonstone on your tube, on the little tube. So let me hold this up somehow. I need like a tweezers with a rubber grip or something to hold this stuff. Right, so there's your little tube. Now, if you read the handouts at all, I mentioned in the handouts that you could curve this more. I already did that for the ones in your kit, so that they should match. So you shouldn't have to do that anymore. If you purchase them individually, they're just curved less, and so I just used a wire straightener on the end of each tube to push up the end just a little bit on both of them, right? Really gently. But like I said, I already did that on yours. So they should already be curved for you. So you have several jump rings in this kit. The largest one is a 6mm jump ring in gunmetal. That's the one that's going over the tube. Right, so you have a picture there of the earring if you have the handout. But we're going to put the jump ring and the the moonstone gem drop on first before we do the chain. We're going to attach this to the tube first. Getting that jump ring on the tube is no small feat. So, that's right. Bellamy agrees. So, if you have 2 chain nose, that's ideal, but if you don't, chain nose and round nose will work. We're going to open that gunmetal jump ring substantially and get it around the tube. So I'm going to push the tube. Oh, my love. So I'm going to push the tube onto the jump ring. And I'm going to close it a little so the jump ring won't come out. But before I close it, I'm going to string on one of those little gem drops. And they should already be straight, but sometimes the loop on those little gem drops can be wonky, so you might need to move it up a little bit. But I matched them up so they should be the same size and they should be straight. So, I don't know if you can see that, but I have that moonstone on there, on the jump ring. And now I'm going to close up the jump ring flush. Yeah. Okay. How's that going for everybody? So we want to get that flush. I am Mama.
I know I'm your favorite.
I know. Hi, lover boy. Hey, he's a sweet baby.
It's okay. Look, there's you.
Who's that?
There's you.
Who's that baby? Who's that baby?
Is that you? Is that you? Yeah.
Yeah, is that funny now? Now it's funny.
Who's that baby?
Okay. So there's the tube and the little jump ring and the moon drop on there. Now, thank you, my love. So, right. So if you look straight at it, even my little gem drop is a little wonky. So you can finesse it a little bit if it's not hanging straight. Be very gentle. The wire is really thin. So, mine fell off. There it is. That's why I want to make sure the jump ring's close flush, so it doesn't come off. Okay. Sorry, my little gem drop fell off, so I'm gonna get this closer. Now it's quiet. There we go. so you do want to make sure that jump ring is closed. And even though I use 2 chain nose to close it flush, I'm popping in there with the nylon jaw and giving it a little squeeze. There we go. Or whatever you have to. Crimping plier would work great. If you need a little extra squeeze to get that closed. Okay, so there she be. We've got our tube. Everybody get that okay? Yay, good, awesome. And by all means, like I said, please, say something if it's tricky or you need me to go back and cover something again. It's not a problem at all. Okay, then now you're gonna get that little piece of chain out and the cord in crimps. So if you look at the back of the earring, right, so this is the back of it without the flower. The little flower covers, there's your cord in crimps, right, that are at the top of the chain where it hooks into the ear wire or jump ring, right? So there's the top here. So we need to get those on. We're going to put one on, put it through the tube, and then do the crimp on the other side. Yeah.
Why don't you want Mama to sit?
Because it's much more fun if Mama walks around. Okay, this you need a crimping plier for. There's only one way to do these. Only one way. I don't want to hear it. Use a crimping plier. You use the top station of your crimping plier, right? The crimping plier has 2 stations. The oval one and the one on the bottom has a little tooth on the side. We're only using the top station. Your cord in crimp, right? That little crimp on the end that I just showed you. Well, you all have it there. Has a loop on the outside. You're going to place the cord in crimp. Let me use the gold one so you can see it better. No, I'm not. Just threw it on the floor. Okay. It's going to line up in the top of the crimping plier. So I've got the crimping plier perpendicular, right? I'm not looking at it. I'm looking at the side of it. The loop is facing out or to my right. And I'm just holding, see, there's a little tube.
And the opening's facing up.
There we go. What, honey?
The opening is facing up. Okay.
Right, the opening is facing up, right. And this is right in the center of it, okay? So I'm just holding this at the right tension, right, where I'm not quite squeezing it yet. To get the chain in there, I'm going to tip my hand so the loop is facing the floor now. I turned my dominant hand down so the loop is facing the floor. Like the baby. You turn the baby over. Then you take the chain and drop the chain into the crimp until it pokes out. I'm trying to make sure you can see it on there. Can you see it, baby? You have to let me know.
Yeah.
Should I get closer?
Yeah,
okay.
I can see it.
So until it pops out, then you're going to back it up a little bit, of course. Especially on this. Normally, if we were just doing this at the end of the chain, it wouldn't matter if the chain poked out and you crimped it because you could cut the chain off. But these chains are already cut the exact length for the shape of your earring. So that's why you have an extra piece of chain, just in case it turns out wonky or something. But ideally, we want to put it in, and then so the balls, pokes out the bottom, and then back it up, and then crimp once, and then I'm turning it right straight back up, and I'm going to go up and down the whole crimp to make it flat. So with my crimping pliers, I'm going back and forth across the whole thing until it's flat. Right, so the whole thing just looks flat. Or flat-ish. As long as it stays there, it doesn't matter at all what it looks like. Okay, so once you've done that, then I turn it and crimp it again on the seam. So right, it was facing up, look at a little U, and when I crimped it kind of flat on the chain. Then you can go back and turn it so the seam is in sideways and crimp that again, and that will kind of shape it. But you don't have to do that. And especially these are not showing. But it does help it hold better, and it looks a little bit better. Right, so it's on the end of there. So we have it on the end of our chain, right? Yes, works. Okay. Then, once you have that on, you're going to drop it through the tube. And do the other one, the other side.
Victoria says, nice, that should be much easier to crimp those.
Yeah, believe me, teaching class, I've seen people try to do it a million bazillion ways. And it's one thing if you're using like leather cord or something stiffer. I still do it the same way, but when you're doing chain, it's not, it's all floppy. So that's the only way to crimp it. So I'm going to line it up, again, same thing. So the other one, for the other end, lined up, the middle of the crimp, top of my crimping plier, open side up, loop facing out. I'm going to flip my hand, turn my hand so the loop is facing the floor. I'm going to drop the chain, the other end, into the crimp so it's poking out. And then I'm going to back it up so it doesn't poke out. And crimp. And I'm going to crimp up and down the whole thing. And then turn it. Now, if you have this earring, you have an extra crimp in there. And I'm sorry there's only one extra in there, but because it's super common to have it slip off. It just means you didn't get that first crimp. That's why you want to get that first crimp as kind of hard as you can. But I've seen people try to do it a million other ways, like laying it on the floor or on the table and then trying to pick it up. It's not going to work any other way. Okay. So once we have them on both ends, right now they shouldn't slide off the tube anymore, but we have them on both ends there. Then you have multiple, let's see, you have another jump ring. So you should have a gold jump ring we're going to use to hook those two together. So your small 4mm gold jump ring, since there's only one color this is in, goes through both loops. Sorry, my hands are the way I'm trying to get it through first. Goes through both loops of your cording crimps, right? Then you're going to close it flush. Is that funny? That's that funny noise?
It's my huffing and puffing.
Yes, my love. Okay. Then, once that's closed, I'm going to put it on the ear wire. So I'm going to open the loop on the ear wire to the side. I'm going to string through over the back of it. Again, string through that gold jump ring. And bring it all the way around to the front. And close it. So on the tubes, on this section, there's no front or back, right? But now we know which one is the front. So one thing I want to point out, when I was making this, and it bothered me a little bit that the tube slid, look, like this. But the truth is, once I wore it, the gravity just that didn't happen once I was wearing them. They just seemed to stay in place. But if that did, I don't know, if it was moving around or it did bug you, there were a lot of solutions I thought. I just didn't want to do them in this one. Hi, my love. I thought about putting like a crimp cover, gunmetal crimp cover, right at like a 3mm, right at both ends. I could have done that. You could even put it like a teeny dab of super glue or nail glue right there, right in the right space. You wouldn't see it. That would hold it in place. So, like I said, I really didn't have much problem with it.
Little wire wraps on the end too.
Mm-hmm. That would work. Okay, last step is we're going to put that little lovely flower on the front so it covers where the cording crimps are. You have a 5mm gunmetal jump ring that you're going to open to the side. Now, if you look at the flowers, some of them, I would choose whatever side you like best. Sometimes the bail is soldered onto that flower. I'm going to say it, almost off center, so there seems like a front and a back to the flower. So I would just choose whatever side you think is nicer, because sometimes depending on the polish, one side just looks better than the other for whatever reason. I did go through them all and match them up for you. But so like here's an example, I don't know if you can see it, let me hold her still, where the bail is soldered on, like the flower's not soldered in the middle of the bail, it's soldered more towards the back of it. So I'm strung it on there, and I'm gonna close the jump ring flush. So I've got my little flower on my jump ring. And then I'm gonna open the front of my ear wire again. And you could string it around the back, or you could just pop it over it too. Nope, just kidding. I couldn't remember if it went on the back. So mine does not go over the ball of the ear wire. So I just have to take this off, because to string it on through the back of the ear wire, it has to go in first. And now it's on backwards. I need to either like lower the camera or make like a table here, because I keep forgetting to put my like hands up high enough.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Looks like you can lower it.
Yeah, I can. Okay, so now my little flower on, facing the front, and then I'm stringing my chains back on. And then I will close the top loop again. Okay. And just making sure everything looks straight. And there she is. Okay, that work? Everybody, yay. I think it's lovely. Love this earring, and I have a lot of them. Okay, what time are we? 42.
Doing good.
Supposed to be. So I know we're only halfway through, but the next ones don't take as long. The last three are, especially the next one's pretty quick. Trying to see what time we're supposed to be at. We are doing good. Okay.
140.
I kind of have them timed. Like Google things bugging me, but I can't touch the thing. Okay. So the next one we are going to do is our large Lotus statement earring. Sorry.
Victoria.
I think I'm back live, so I just buffering out.
Reconnected.
Yay! Sorry about that. Okay. Apologies.
If
What did Victoria say?
it's still buffering.
Could you hook the jump ring with the flower onto the earring before you... Of course. Before you close it. Yeah.
Yeah, she said, could you hook the jump ring with the flower onto the earring before you close it?
Yeah, of course. Okay, let me turn this. It's not my mirror. Okay, perfect. Okay. Definitely ask, again, any questions about... That was probably the trickiest one. Okay, so the next one, we're going to do our large Lotus statement earring, and only a handful of people have this, but it's a pretty quick earring. And it's actually one of my other favorites. Indian one's my favorite, but this is my other favorite one to actually wear, because it's just... I just think it's really lovely. But it's also a very, very quick earring. So if you have that one, make it along with me. Otherwise, can keep working on the second earring to the pairs we've already done. Okay. So for our Lotus statement, it takes the lotus and the lotus flower and the ring, but then 4 of the textured rings. So you have 2 gunmetal and then 2 in the silver or the gold, depending on your color choice. So again, you're going to open those to the side, and you're using the silver or gold one, so whatever metal one you have, to the side. I'm going to put on my Lotus, and I'm going to do mixed metal one. It's also my favorite color, favorite combination. And then I'm putting on the ring. Was that right? No, let's just check again. Yes. Then I put it on the ring, and then I'm going to close her up. Oops. Okay. Then you're going to put on your gunmetal rings. The little gunmetal ones, open to the side. They're only going on the ring, not the Lotus. Right? So we're just putting it on, closing her up flush. And you can put them on just put them on the ring anywhere. I'm going to close those flush. Okay. Then you're going to take your other silver or gold ring.
Sleepy boy.
So then you're going to split up the gunmetal ones. And I'm holding this kind of upside down. So my gunmetal rings are hanging off the bottom. And I'm going to take my other silver one and string it only through those two gunmetal. And then close her up. And there she be. Right, and so that's this little wonky combination of rings. I think is a lovely accent as far as the metal colors, but it also allows the Lotus to hang perfectly centered in that satin ring. Okay, and then your ear wire, same thing, just opens to the side. And there's no front or back to it, so it's gonna string. Oops.
Debbie says somebody's getting sleepy. I know, he's fighting it. He's just fighting it.
Because this is so exciting for him. And then we'll put it on the ear wire, and that's it. I mean, they're so simple, and so I just really love them. They're super elegant and pretty and lightweight. I would have worn them today, but they don't really work with my little set I was doing. But I love, love, love them. And we have most of these kits, not all of them, available still individually for other folks.
Debbie says he might miss something important.
That's true. So, Sophie was going to do the next two. Do you want me to go ahead and do it? Or you want me to take the baby? What do you want to do? Doesn't matter to me.
Whatever be easier. I'm not sure.
I mean, if you think he's, sleepy, if you want to walk him, or he might wake up if I don't know.
Yeah, I'll try to get him to sleep.
Okay. Okay, I will do the next one, and for sure Sophie's doing the last one. So, hopefully. Hey, lover boy. Okay. How are we doing? Okay, so our next one, we're doing really good on time, is our little swinging sunflower. And this earring I had before as a kit, but I kind of updated it, did new color, different chain and stuff. So I think she's pretty. If you have that kit, I'm pretty sure I cut those chains in half as well. Hi, Lover Bee. Hi, Sugar Bee. What do you have on? What is that? You're looking at my jewelry? Sleepy boy. Okay. You have a chain. You have a 6-inch piece of chain you cut in half. So that we have a 3-inch piece of wire, or chain. Wire, I apologize. 6-inch piece of wire you should cut in half. So that you have one 3-inch piece here. Then, so I have my 3-inch piece of wire. I'm going to go down about 1 inch and bend that piece back. And we're going to do a wire wrap loop. but we're not going to close it yet. Right, so I've got that piece of wire's bent back towards me. Yeah, right, so I've got my little loop there that's not closed yet. Right, so at this point, I'm going to string on the chain. If your chain wasn't cut, I'd feel like I'd cut all of them in half, but if it wasn't, you just cut it in half. You do want to make sure they're perfectly even. So I think I show that in one of the handouts, that I'll normally string both pieces of chain on a wire and hang them down so I can see that they're even, and then I can cut off, if I'm off by a loop or something. So I'm stringing on the chain. Then the chain's going through the center of the flower. And then I'm going to string the other end of the chain onto my wire wrap loop. And pull her through. Right, and the nature, see, my chain's twisted. So the nature of this chain is, if you do need to make sure it's not twisted onto itself. So I'm just kind of pulling it out straight, and I'm going to reattach it again. Oops. Come on. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we've got our flower on there. Then I'm going to do a wrap. I'm only going to do like one and a half, like not much at all. Oh, baby boy. Okay, so I've got my chain, my little wire wrap loop. Then you've got all your little beads. You've got a cap. There's a 4mm cap, right? So this is going to string on with the cap facing up, and that little cap then covers the wraps, so you don't see any of the wire wraps. On your pink pearl, this is a button pearl. So there could, if you look at it, there could be one side that's more flat and one side that's more rounded. If that's the case, you want to string on the more rounded side, so that sits in the cap, and the flatter side is on top. So I'm going to string that on. Right, so I'm stringing it on so it sits right in my cap. Then you have a little 4mm daisy spacer. What are you doing? And a little 2mm round bead. Because it's just one of my favorite ways to finish things off now. Oops, and that's kind of a little crooked. Okay. So there's our little pearl spacer bead. I'm going to do another wire wrap loop on the top. This one you can go ahead and close if you want. But I'm at the very, very tip of my chain nose because I want a tiny wrap. Yes, my love.
Hi, sleepy pumpkin. Hi, sleepy pumpkin.
What are you doing? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close this.
No, it's not put.
Wrap. Boop, boop, boop. Cut it off. Whee. Crimping plier. Hello. Okay. So the loop on, you have a little ball ear wire French hook here. So the loop on your ear wire opens. So technically you could have strung this on before closing it, but I'm just opening the loop on the ear wire and then closing it back up. And there you go. And you can turn any of the loops if it's not facing forward. Mine is, but sometimes depending on the way that you put the chain on, it might want to flip around. You can just turn the loops perpendicular to each other if you need to get it to face forward. But there she is. And if that's too long, you could have cut the chain shorter if it just hangs too long. That's one way I select the ear wires based on looks, but also sometimes if the earring is quite long, I'll do a shorter ear wire just to help kind of balance that out. Okay, my love. You want to do this last one, Sophie Bug?
And show me what to do.
This, Sophie's going to do a little floral shimmer earring that has a little wire wrap because she's my master wire wrapper. And then I'm going to play with the baby. So you have a foot of wire. You want to cut in half so you have a 6-inch piece. Then you should have, I think I did this one in like everything for one earring. I did 2 bags. So I think your chain's all cut. You have the mirrored chain in the silver or gold, and you have a textured gunmetal chain, and then you have another mirrored chain piece. So the gunmetal sits in the middle, and the gunmetal is slightly longer than the mirrored ones. Right, babe? So you're just gonna string them through the middle of the thing and wrap it, and then there's a crystal that goes on top.
String it through the thing, wrap it. Okay, got it. Sure.
Once they're all through there, I just held them. You know when. I'm coming. Baby's coming. What are you doing, my lover bee?
I know, Mama's over here. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna get.
Hi. Okay.
Come here, sugar bee. So I'm stringing them all through the flower. The chains.
Yeah. Okay. So, got your little metal flower.
There's also a loop at the top of that flower. There's a top to that flower. Right.
Right.
What do I have on?
I'm just gonna...
I just strung them through the flower and then evened them.
Okay. So I'm just gonna grab all 3
Ow.
chains and string them through the middle of the flower.
Ow, ow.
You're the one who said you didn't want to do this.
Yeah. I'm gonna play with the baby.
Good luck.
What do I have?
Hey.
What's this? It's better for him to play with it off my ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gunmetal one should be slightly longer. The other thing with those chains, I'm pretty sure I cut them. So cut the mirrored one so the little mirrors on the very bottom of each end. If I didn't, you can trim those off later, or you can always trim them after as well. Like depending on after you wrap it, it just may adjust the length of them, and you can trim them after to be even.
Okay. So I got the little chains all evened up and laid how I want to. Now I'm just gonna pinch them so they stay in place. And I strung my little crystal onto the middle of my piece of wire. Let's see if I can hold this at the same time.
Yep.
My teeny tiny crystal
Camera's there.
onto the... I can see what I'm doing though. Right. Ta-da! Okay. Great. Then I'm just gonna lay this on my chains. Pull one wrap around. Try to get it around as tight as I can the first time. If you can get your first wrap nice and tight, then the rest are easy.
With the chains being textured, hopefully the wire can, kind of grip on that or fall in between the links there. And even after it's wrapped, like I said, you can pull on the chain a little bit and even it out or trim it to be even. So there's plenty of, it's pretty long. So there's, regardless of how it comes out, there's plenty of room there to trim it to even it up.
How many wraps are there?
Just a few.
A lot. Looks like a lot.
Well, I wrapped it a little bit first and then put the crystal on.
Oh.
Because I can't wrap as tight with the crystal on there. Yeah. Yeah. Good boy. Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Jinxed it. Okay. We'll pretend like that looks right.
Yeah, and I was just kind of, finesse the little chains a little bit. Sometimes the chains that are going through the flower, just even them up. And
Okay.
so just a few wraps to get it secure. It really doesn't need a whole lot. And then trim those down. And then I would wait, and once you've made both of them, to kind of then hold them up and even up the chains if you need to.
Yeah, so I just got my crystal wrapped on with a couple little wraps to hold all the little chains in place.
Oh, and there's a ball ear wire in there. So I used a smaller ball ear wire.
Little ball end.
Yep.
Ear wire. Just gonna grab.
So that's kind of what I mean.
twist
It's a pretty long earring. So instead of using, the other ear wires that are longer, this one's a little shorter ball end.
Ta-da!
Hooray!
Beautiful.
Yeah, really pretty. I love that earring. And it's actually pretty simple for, I kept being fascinated with the jewels.
Great. Because I don't get those.
No.
I don't get to have those.
No.
No, don't.
He's been pulling on it. It's okay. He's a good boy. Okay. That was our last one, and we're right at an hour.
Yay.
Now, we have a very special surprise, though, that I can't wait to share.
I'll take baby.
Are you going to go back to Mama?
Come see me,
Come
Mama.
on, play with my woo.
Come see you, Mama.
Hi, lover.
Is that fun?
Hi, lover bee.
You need a haircut. Oh, sleepy guy. Maybe you'll sleep in the car.
Okay, let me...
We'll take my spots back. Here, not spot.
Yay. Okay, guys, well, hopefully you got all those, or you're working on your other pairs. Definitely let me know if you have any questions or any problems with any of them. Our live we're doing for next month was very, very excited about the first weekend in June. I think it's the 6th, the first Saturday. We're going to keep it on that Saturday. But we're very excited to, Sophie and I are teaching together Kumihimo. It is a leather Kumihimo that we've never offered before. So here's my leather bracelet. Let me get a background. So she's really beautiful. So we've done two colors of leather. This is a black and a metallic silver, but like our other projects we've done before, we'll have multiple color choices. I've just ordered a bunch of different colors of leather, and then we've taken the tulip cones and closed them into rosebuds. So that's the finish on it. Got these beautiful little rosebuds now. Finish. And then I did this cute little accent pearl on the end. So I think it is just beautiful. We've done Kumihimo, not for a long time, but we've never done a leather Kumihimo. And because of that, though, if you've even done Kumihimo before, then you know that you need a disc almost every time you change materials, because the size of the cording will, affect the size of the grooves here. So even if you have a disc, you'd want a new one or a separate one for leather because of its size. So your kit comes with the disc, the loom, and then your colors of leather and all your findings and everything. It's $36.50, and you can use your discount, or either Bead Babe 10 for 10% off, or our members discount code to reserve yours. And then when the leather comes in, we'll do some other color options. There's, I think we'll do a really pretty it with the gold. I can do really pretty browns. And oh, my love.
It's okay.
So I think it's going to be really beautiful. So there's pictures of it on our website, and I'll go make it live in just a second because there's a limited amount. I can only, unfortunately, a lot of my suppliers are closed or only open really limited hours, and so it's hard for me to get all the materials I need. Oh,
Gloria
my love.
says, ooh.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I just really love the way it turned out. So there's lots of pictures, like I said, on the website, but I just think it's a really beautiful mix of the woven leather and then all the delicate accents that we've done on there. And you can also, if you didn't want to do a bracelet, you can purchase an additional leather kit as a necklace option, so you can easily do it as a necklace. The leather option that adds 4 times the leather, so that you could do up to 24 inches, which is a good length for kumihimo, and that way this could be the front if you wanted a little dangle, or you could wear it as a necklace or even a double drop bracelet at 24 inches. So there's an option to purchase additional leather. And just like we did for the last 2 months of kits, I will give you color options and things a couple weeks ahead of time. So I'm excited to play with some colors and put some different colors together. Even with this black, I ordered some other brighter silver and a white pearl leather, and I think we could do some fun colors. So she's pretty, and I'm really excited because we'll be able to do, Sophie says we can do the bracelet in like a half an hour or so, the kumihimo part ish.
Probably less.
That's amazing. So we'll be able to, easily do this within the time frame, because the finishing's a little tricky, but I'm happy to show it to you. And I just love this as a bracelet with that counter dangle, just because that way, any way you wear it, it's beautiful. So I love it. I'm excited to share it with you. I'm going to make it live on our website now. Like I said, there's a limited amount because I can only get so many looms. So you'll want to reserve yours as soon as you can. So that is it. I cannot believe we are on time. That's fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. It's always fun. We really love these live streams and love hanging out with you girls and men, even though we can't see you exactly like a normal class. It's better than nothing. So we really enjoy it a lot. I love this so much.
Debbie Seaman says, thank you both for the lesson today and looking forward to the kumihimo.
Yeah, it's a beauty. I love it. Oh, yes. Bellamy says bye-bye, too. Okay.
Bye.
Thanks so much, ladies. Go out there and sparkle brightly like the star that you are. Mwah. Peace.
Mark says, thank you.
Thank you. Oops.
No, you have to click it again and click the stop button. Not that. On the screen. Just click the screen. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, no.